enlisted in the military in 1966 as a helicopter pilot, and since you couldn't be guaranteed to be a helicopter pilot, I also enlisted as a paratrooper, infantry paratrooper. And all three companies, A, B, and C company, and the Tiger Force. And since I had to turn in 2 stories a week, my main source of stories was the Tiger Force. Our units were committing war crimes at low levels pretty much all the time, shooting civilians and some torture. We killed children, old people, a lot of things. And we used white phosphorus, which was against the Geneva Conventions, both hand grenades, and we called in bombs and artillery with white phosphorus shells. We did all this for 5 months. The Army says there are different numbers. We killed between 1,200 and 5,000 civilians in that 5 months. Before we went in, we were given a lecture by the colonel that said everyone in that valley was either enemy or knew where the enemy was and was assisting them. So we should treat them all like enemy. He said, do not allow them to go in front of you because they may warn the enemy that you're coming. Do not allow them to pass through your unit because they may dig up weapons and attack you from the rear. And there will be no evacuation provided for indigenous personnel. And when you leave the valley, there will be no living thing left in the valley. So one time we were going through a valley, and about 35 people bunched up in the middle of the rice paddies, thinking we wouldn't kill them in the open. That's what I think they thought. But it's the only thing I can see for doing that. And we went up and surrounded them, and guys began shooting them. And the colonel landed his helicopter and stormed over to the lieutenant. And I thought, finally, someone's going to stop this. And he said to the lieutenant, he locked him in what's called the brace position, where it's an extreme position of attention. And he said, Lieutenant, don't you know better than to shoot these people here in the open? You take them in the bushes and kill them. I think that 911 gave the government an excuse to do what it had always wanted to do. It gave it an excuse to instill fear everywhere and gain more control. Because if you think about it, it was a very small group within a very small group of radicals who attacked us. This country is not under general attack. We have very good people within our government and within our security agencies that are very able to find this thing and control it. We've taken that small group and we have amplified it by our response, by pretending we're under attack from every direction, and that we have to worry about things within this country, and gaining more control and spying on people. This is fear. There's fear that pours down from the sky. It runs through the streets. It runs through the gutters. It pours off of everyone. This fear is an easy thing to sell. It's harder to sell peace. It's harder to sell other things, other ideas, because fear is so instantaneous. And the government knows that, and it's using fear to divide us against each other